Alright, so you're told that the Jesus you're looking for by Jesus will be he'd be crying alone in the wilderness. You're crying alone in the wilderness. And I'll explain to you why he's crying alone in the wilderness. Lots of people cry alone in the wilderness, don't they? Lose your home, you get kicked out of your gaff, crying in a tent on the side of the ditch on the side of the road for a few years. So I don't know how it just exactly started. Israel is kind of reborn. It's something to do with stars. Your birth is when a star is born. There's a lot of this under Christianity. It used to be a lot rarer back in the Bible times, so you can see it a lot clearer. Escalate in a controlled environment where it's only one or two and it grows with instability and stability, like I've told you before. But so everyone around you, basically, you'll be very Krishna and you'll be very enlightened and you'll be very glowing and you'll be very wow. People will be amazed. There'll be a few miracles or stuff like that. People will be very blown away. A person's going to be very Krishna at the time. They're very starry, connected to Ferithian. And they're going to be, I love everybody. I love strangers, just like Jesus did. I love everybody. And you let a lot of people in, basically. A lot of people aren't great. They'll get tested, basically, tested on something they don't know about. You see this in a lot of stuff. When you die, a beautiful woman appears, and if you sink your face into her breasts, she turns into a monster and consumes you. It's like these tests in the afterlife. I studied it a lot before when I was younger. And it's beyond all this. But they fail all these tests, basically. They're tested in the highest and holy way to exploit Israel, Jacob, newborn Jacob. Even Isaac was possessed to kill his own son. And this happens, like I said, for Judean royalty all the way down, because they had a serpent in their ear as well. They didn't have the stability of Christ, of Jesus. So they were all kind of schizo and listening to things that they called the Lord and stuff. And there's dead people and weird, horrible collections of stuff. But a serpent, basically, is what you can kind of call it. It's a serpent thing. But it's more like Slugworth works for Wonka, so it's more a tester and a teacher. So Jesus was tested as well in this way, and he overcame the Satanism, and he said, get behind me. So that's why Christianity was so lovely, because we didn't have a serpent tester or teacher constantly snagging at us. They might call it Zatan, they might call it Satan or something, but it's very outdated, sainthood. But so yeah, you had a history of sainthood then since Christ, and it was very nice. But then, like I said, a lot of people didn't take into Christianity, and that's why they get to still hear it and still doing terrible things and exploiting and harming Jacob. So basically, when Jacob's reborn, a lot of people start gathering. Merchants in the temple start gathering and exploiting him, and they'll make it. They just assume it's the way, they just assume that that's the way, and then they take over the temple. So everybody he passes by, they're like sitting there tripping out all the time. And anybody he passes by, they mix with, they use sex magic and stuff to connect them. Watching this, basically. Paul Vanderberg or Noel Vanderberg or someone is already using sex magic on you at the moment as you listen to this. Sorry, burning bush, what are you going to do? It's the future. And it'll consume the entire earth soon. And it is consuming the entire earth as a burning backwards bush. So he realizes, obviously, that everybody he comes into connection or comes by or exchanges with is being haunted and tormented and screwed with by this majority in the temple. They get the majority, and he ends up crying alone in the wilderness like Yoda. And that's exactly why Yoda was on Dagobah, completely alone and no one around him, because everybody he comes by turns into Agent Smith, basically, like Neo did as well. Everybody comes by turns into Agent Smith, and they can just turn you to hate you very instantly and despise you or ignore you or to think you're insane. And everyone, it's a nightmare. It's really like a nightmare. It's like Terminator or something. Everywhere you go, everyone transforms and turns. And you can't get images. This is why Jesus saved John, because Jesus was over above the serpent, was better than a snake, and told him to go fuck himself, and turnpiked the entire situation and got a majority within the temple. Then all this, all the gypsies and all the old Jew kind of guys and all the Babylonian sex magicers, it was really Jesus' diaspora versus them. And they're the ones that called him in and interrogated him, and because they were already abusing his birthright or something. They were already abusing it. Gypsies, basically gypsies. I said in the other video, really, who modern gypsies are royalty and a lot of powerful people. You see, I said in the other video as well, kike means kickle, it's keep in a circle. I'm really very certain about the matter of this, that anybody who's Jewish is in Israel at this time in their life, and they don't bother anyone else. They don't trespass, or they mind their business very well. There's a lot of people in America who aren't in Israel, obviously, in America, or Jewish names, and they're monstrous, murderous, psychopathic, twisted, self-condemning gypsies. And this is the reason why you think that Adolf had a thing against Judaism, or they're Shemites, they screw dead babies and stuff. People in Israel don't, as far as I'm concerned, and they keep in their good kickle. So yeah, that's why Yoda's on Dagobah, and that's why Luke Skywalker's Jesus, New Hope, and that's why he's crying alone in the wilderness, necessarily forced to cry and starve alone in the wilderness. Like Elijah, like King David, all of them got ripped and cheated, and it says in Revelations almost that this is almost considered necessary, which is interesting because I don't know if Muhammad got cheated so much. I think that's why he had to go infidels and kill all the infidels in the temple and go around and prevent all these, and they did that, and they got it together, and Christianity became wonderful and flourished, because they fixed this problem of apocalypse and temple, which is very difficult to find in society. And I'm trying to make it very clear with these videos to everyone. It was me and my closest friends and family, technically my 100,000 closest friends and family. And this is the thing as well, anyone I do like or likes me becomes kind of special. And because it is a majority in the temple of the gypsies and assholes, they exploit them even more. So it doesn't even matter if I make a good friend, or it doesn't even matter if somebody doesn't even like, or I like, particularly if I like somebody, it becomes very special. That these people just become exploited. So over the last few 7 years, I'd say something like, I like this actor, or I really like this musician, or something, and they disappear. They're disappearing. They get disappeared, or they get cloned or something like that. It's terrible. I can't think about anybody I even think about is like a suspect to be slaughtered or hunted or killed. Anyone, particularly if I like them. And I've tried lots of things like saying, oh, I love the entire world then, and you can't kill everybody, and or saying I love nobody or something, various different efforts and forms. But so that's why you were looking for a man who's in the forest crying on his own. That's why you're looking for him. And he says he'll be a thief in the night. He'll be like King David, trying to prove himself again. He'll be a thief in the night, like King David was the thief in the night. He proved it to the people that the water jug, he held the waters, so the waters of the world will get fucked up by me, through me, and that it was his scepter originally. It was his birthright or something. I'm not sure, I can't remember how he did it, but it was a thief in the night kind of job. I want to research that myself a bit more. But they all got fucked basically, and like I said, Muhammad probably did as well, but he had a little turnpike and he killed all the infidels, and just probably has some holy right or holy justification like William Wallace or something to kill a lot of infidels and gypsies. So I'm crying alone. No, I can't cry anymore actually. Beyond crying, I have no emotions left, and well beyond that. Nearly, practically was killed, and ever since then I have no emotions. So yeah, burning bush is going to consume the world. I've already said this in other videos as well, and this burning bush is a terrible anti-temple. It's a corrupt temple, and this temple full of merchants, people exploiting everyone, and your confessions aren't safe. This is a celebration of Christianity. This is why you confess in Christianity, because your confessions are safe with Jesus, and your confessions aren't safe now, because they can interrogate your mind, anyone's mind, for all their sins, or all their trespasses, or all their... Like, drugs aren't even a crime and canonically speaking, but they'll be like, oh, he's a drug dealer and stuff like this. And it's information wars, because everybody's got so much information on each other now. They're all blackmailing each other, and it's like this gigantic information war, because you just don't have good lordship. You don't have any lordship, actually. So your confessions aren't safe. And this is the way they get the people a lot, I realised, is make them confess onto them. They make them confess onto like Mel Vanberg or Derek Rockefeller. They make them confess to Miley Cyrus or something. So this kind of thing. Ahab and Jezebel, Red Generation. They made them confess. And I just like really, really divulge into all the elements of confession with you. But they'll do other stuff actually to get you. They can. Doesn't matter. They can really defile you. They can really mess you up. They can really, really mess you up spiritually, and it's terrible. Like, I can't even tell you the things that they do, and they're still doing. It's funny, like I'm immortal. Like I'm pretty sure I got this down at immortal, and if you harm me, it's only a revelation of what you would do. And like there was said in the Jeremiah, do him no harm and do what he says, and they both prosper by both these things. But yeah, I'm going through a lot of poisoning at the moment. They're purposely putting a lot of sickness in people. I know this be revealed, please.